Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. It has been a little while here. It is January 8th, Sunday, mid-afternoon. Chad, welcome back. It's been a busy last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Christmas, Happy New Year, and here we are.
Festive period is come and gone, and we're back in action.
Yeah, let me go and get this dust off my mic here because it has been, let's see, the last time we really spoke about footy on camera was the World Cup final, the day of. We are now back into the EPL, back into the FA Cup. Everything is moving a lot quicker than what I anticipated. It's when we had like 2 or 3 days off from talking or recording anything, and now we're just back in the swing of things. And I think after this next week, though, things should calm down. We move back to weekend games, not so many weekday games, so that should be nice. But I'm ready to get back on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been nice to we were able to keep up on points and everything for the fantasy league, but I mean, just haven't had a lot of time to actually watch the games because they've just been so many midday, weekday games, and it's hard to find the time to watch those. But catch the highlights, see the good goals, the flops, the weird VAR calls.
Yeah,
it's all back. It's all back in action.
Yeah, I know one of the things that Kristen and I kind of were noticing when we watched the Boxing Day matches, because we watched a couple of those, and then the City game on the 27th, and we were like, do you think the refs are going to go to the World Cup injury time and give that huge 10-minute window? And that just didn't happen. I'm kind of surprised, right?
Yeah, I kind of thought that the World Cup was going to be almost like the test bed for that more accurate added time. And I thought we would see at least some level of that come into the Premier League. Maybe not the full 10 minutes and stuff like that, but I don't know. Maybe Premier League just doesn't want to implement anything new since it's mid-season, which I get, but at the same time, this is only supposed to be able be adding more play time that was wasted, so you're not really adding anything new, but
yeah, I think I watched the first, I don't remember who played on Boxing Day, but it was the first game. That was the thing I was looking forward to the most, is seeing how much time was given. I was like, oh, okay, we're back to where we were.
Yeah, no, didn't even think about it. They said, no, we're 2 minutes, good, let's get out of here.
Hold that thought. I need to get a beer out of my fridge because it is Sunday.
And thank God, I've been wanting to drink this thing in front of me.
Oh gosh, it's shame on me for forgetting. I haven't drank that much since I've gotten home. We're trying to limit it to weekends or going out and stuff. So hang on, I gotta open this fridge. All right, nice and cold. There's only a couple in there, so I'm gonna have to get a little restock here. But I'm going with the Chutes Fresh Haze.
Oh, I think a favorite.
Yeah, you can't go wrong here. So I'm gonna crack that. And what you got?
Yeah. I got the Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze. Yep. Also a banger. But I put it in our mug, so
Nice. I don't know where my mug is. Wait, hang on. Pause one more second. Pause one more.
Oh. Yeah?
Not in there.
Oh.
Yeah, disappointing. That's okay. We're going to go straight from the can today. But let's start off with just points in our league right now, just because we got Chris and Ryan in first and second place. Those are both my coworkers who have nearly identical teams.
Yeah.
I've talked to them a little bit about what they want to transfer in. And what I've been told is they are going to wait until the 31st to see what everyone else does, which I totally understand. I think I'm going to make mine this week. I want to be ready to go by next weekend with my new squad, because not having a Newcastle player is killing me inside. Not having an Arsenal player, that's mind-boggling, right? I have 2 teams in the top 4 and I don't have any players on them.
That's right, yeah, because you started with Ramsdale, but didn't replace him with another Arsenal player or anything. So
no, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Odegaard. So
you're doing it?
I'm for sure doing Odegaard. I don't know what else I'm going to do in my midfield. I don't want to give too much away on here, but I think Alistair got Odegaard on his squad. So,
yeah, he was the first one to put him in.
And he would have had a good game too, but he got a yellow card, so that kind of offsets some things. So.
I mean, because it's only him and Waffle so far have made their January changes, so
that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to do it this week because I mean I'm down like a defender or two from just them being injured, and still don't have Holland. So, yeah, I don't know. I've kind of like finalized my team and just have a few decisions to make whether I want to take like the safer route or maybe like risk it for the biscuit a little bit and hopefully grab some points. That's kind of what I'm thinking, just because I do got to make up some ground, but we'll see. We'll see.
Is Havertz on your? No Havertz. Is any?
No.
Can I ask you? Are you going to get rid of Mount?
I'm getting rid of Mount.
Getting rid of Mount. Are you replacing him with the Chelsea player?
I think so. It's one of the questions.
Okay.
That I have. So, yeah. Otherwise, I'd say my biggest risk it for the biscuit is a potential move for a Brighton player that I think is maybe flying under the radar a little bit.
You have my curiosity.
We'll see. Maybe I'll do it and just see what happens. But
is it going to be McAllister or is it going to be Trossard? Because I'm pretty sure in our league they're both midfielders, so you might. I'll have to double check that.
Look, I said flying under the radar, so
yeah, those guys aren't really under the radar, I would say. Interesting move. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with Christian Eriksen. He's been right there with Bruno for most of the season, but what's killing me is Bruno stays on just a little bit longer, and they always get that extra goal at the end. So right now, Bruno Fernandes has 94.5 points, which is good for third in midfielders. I don't know if you look at stats. I'm sorry, I think that's good for fourth, which is still pretty good. Where do you think Eriksen falls in? How many points behind or ahead do you think he is?
I think he's behind. I want to say maybe like I feel like he's had a good first half of the season, fantasy-wise at least. But like you said, he does tend to come off early and then miss out on those final little tidbits. So maybe like a 20, 30 point gap behind.
He's only 5 points behind Bruno. Chad.
Really? That's it?
Eriksen is fourth right now for everyone who's chosen a midfielder. He's fourth on that list.
Oh, wow.
What's killing Bruno is he has 8 yellow cards.
Yeah, that guy just racks up the yellows.
So I'm in this weird position where Eriksen doesn't feel like he's putting up points, but he's doing it. He's just one clip under Bruno, and Bruno is on pace to get another suspension. Everyone seems to be picking Bruno, so it makes me kind of just want to sit back and keep rolling with Eriksen.
Yeah,
he's getting assists. He's playing it safe. He's right there with them.
I think you're probably okay to keep him for now. I mean, otherwise it's just gonna be another like Mason Mount sort of situation where just everyone has him. Right. So it's like you're not really gaining anything. Yeah.
Mason Mount's going to be a tricky one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. And then Susek is just, that's probably going to be the one that I don't keep any longer.
That whole West Ham midfield has just been a little disappointing. Like, I mean, West Ham as a whole, I think, has been disappointing. But
they're on my list of what to talk about, so we'll bring them up in a little bit. And then my defenders, I think I'm only going to make one, maybe 2 moves in there. There's a guy I've been eyeing for a little bit, and he's just been putting up numbers, and no one has him. So,
is he being tracked in our league currently, or no?
He's not.
Oh,
he's being tracked right here.
Okay.
Yeah, all in the brain. And I will say he had a strong World Cup, and I think it'll transfer over nicely. I don't think I'm going to mess with my forwards because it looks like everyone is going to pick the same forwards that I already have. And I'm in a position where I don't need to switch that up at this moment. If an injury happens, which is like, when do I want to make this move? If an injury happens in this next week and I make my roster change, that would be terrible. Yeah. That'd be terrible. Yeah. But I think I'm happy with the forwards right now, and I'm pretty sure that is the top 3: Kane, Holland, and Salah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's a tough one. Holland made this whole thing just ridiculous.
he broke it from the start.
And to a point, Nick Pope.
Yeah, true.
But not a lot of people had the two of them to start the season.
No, yeah. I mean, I think Newcastle's led in the least amount of goals, like 11 or something.
That's crazy. Well, it's like
so. I mean, yeah, he's just racking up clean sheets, and the goal against penalty's not big. Like,
he has the most clean sheets with 12. He's second right now in saves with 83. Second with the most clearances. The least amount of goals let in, 11, and the next closest is 14. And that's also with Mendy and Ramsdale, and Mendy's barely played, so he shouldn't really count.
Yeah.
He has 3 penalty saves. The highest, next highest is Saw, and then 2 yellow cards. So, yeah, and only 3 people have him right now. It's you, Jimmy, and Alistair. So, it will be. Oh, I'm sorry, and the Waffle, but that's a new addition.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I need Newcastle bad. But yeah, any other notable standouts in fantasy you want to bring up? Because this is where like the fun kind of begins, but also no one's making any moves. So I want to know, are people just being patient?
I think people are being patient. Like, I don't know if I said this on the previous episode or just like talking to you, but I think whoever can find the midfield combination that like scores well will kind of run away with it. Like, everyone's going to end up taking Haaland, and if not both Kane and Salah, like one of them. And like all the defenders, like there's not been like really 1 or 2 standout defenders in the league, I think.
Tarkowski would be the one.
Yeah. And then maybe Trippier, like decent as well.
The clean sheets have just really brought him up. Tarkowski's just been a workhorse in blocks.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm glad we're seeing, Odegaard come into play. I know Alistair picked up Tielemans as well. It's one that I was thinking of, but like Leicester's kind of like a West Ham right now. Where it's just like, I don't know if I want to touch anyone on that team.
And what about and James Maddison too? He just got injured.
Yeah.
And like he was on my list who I wanted to get in, and now I'm like, I don't know if it's that important for me to do at this moment. So yeah, it definitely makes it tricky. I will be getting rid of Tyrone Mings. I'm doing that. Everyone has him. He hasn't been great, so that's my other one. But then my other defender, I don't know if I want to keep Anderson. He's had a good statistical year, but there's also the guy I have my eye on. It's like he would take his spot, and maybe it would be like, I feel like it's a no risk if I switch him out for this guy I want. But yeah, again, we'll get there, and we'll see what can happen at the end. I just want to catch up to Chris and Ryan in these next couple weeks while they don't make their moves. So,
I mean, now's the time to strike. So,
All right, should we talk about our predictions for the second half?
Yeah, let's get into it.
You want me to start, or do you want to start?
Go for it.
Okay. Besides Haaland, who will be second in most goals scored? And we can open up our stat book, see what's going on. Because right now, Haaland has a ridiculous amount of goals. I think he's at 22.
I think so, yeah.
21 league goals, and I think he has 1 or 2 within the FA Cup. But we'll stick with EPL right now.
Okay.
Haaland with 21, Kane with 15, Tony with 12, Mitrovic with 11, Rodrigo with 10, and we'll leave it at that. So those are our top 5 right now. It's surprising not seeing Mohamed on here, and I thought Jesus would make a run for this too, and now he's injured, and he kind of stopped scoring near the end of the first half. But if anyone, who do you have for second?
I mean, Kane is a good shout, just because like that seems to be where Tottenham's getting most of their goals from. But man, I don't think Tony seems to be like consistent enough to really get up there towards the end of the season. I feel like Mitrovic could do it though. Like he's just been going.
No, he's in a tank. I don't see him slowing down either. He does have 4 yellow cards, which
but 5
yellow cards. Sorry,
they've made some good pickups. Like they got Willian to provide a couple assists now, and I'm sure they're looking at more reinforcements in the January window just to make sure they stay up. And I mean, Mitrovic didn't have a great World Cup, but came back and has looked good in the Premier League game since.
He's a hard one not to take right now. And then one more question for you as we're just on the goal topic. Who do you think will score more goals, Saka or Martinelli, to finish out the year? Martinelli has 7 within the Premier League, and Saka has 6.
Yeah.
I know different positions in our league, but they're essentially playing wingers.
Right now. I think... Man, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Saka. Only because right now there's no real backup for him, so he's going to play like every game.
Okay.
Whereas like on Martinelli's side, Emile Smith-Rowe's coming back from injury, and like so they will probably swap a little bit, which I mean could just spur on Martinelli to like kick it up another notch and like prove he needs a starting spot and all that. So
or slot him in a central role, right? I mean, I know that was kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Striking. I think that would be really interesting to see, considering how freaking fast that guy is.
Yeah, I think it'll just kind of depends what gets done during this transfer window. Like if Mudryk comes in, that provides cover for Saka, and I mean then you can kind of play him also on the left side, and then maybe you can try Martinelli up top, and just how quickly like Jesus comes back and gets into match fitness and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I think I'm sticking with Saka as having more goals at the end of it, but I think Martinelli's just going to be right there, right behind him too.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have.
No, certainly not.
And Jesus not coming back until late February, so definitely time for those guys to figure out kind of their off role for this time. And I shouldn't be worried about Odegaard, right? He'll still be in there playing probably the full 90, even with Smith-Rowe coming back. Yeah,
I mean, Odegaard is pretty much the only 10 that Arsenal play with. Smith-Rowe has played there, but he typically seems to be played as on that left wing. Mm-hmm. And then we have Fabio Vieira, but he seems to be kind of playing more on the right side just to give Saka a break every once in a while, but hasn't really made too much of an impact in Premier League games yet, so I don't think we'll see too much of him. It's certainly not taking over Odegaard's spot, but I think Odegaard seems a safe pick, and he's just been running the midfield now and getting goals himself now, so he's looking exciting.
Yeah, I feel like Arsenal has just a bunch of a lot of B+ players where it's you could take any of them and probably be okay. There's not that standout where it's that's going to be the money maker and hitting you every single point in every game, which is it makes it a tougher decision for what player you want to roll with.
Yeah. I mean, fantasy wise, I think it's pretty nice though. Is because you have your Saka that a lot of people started with, but Odegaard's an option now too. Martinelli really should be an option too. 7 goals is not a bad return. I think he has maybe 3 assists as well on there or something. So I mean, and Jesus before he got injured, kind of didn't score as much as maybe you wanted, but he was assisting.
5 and 5, I think, is what he was at.
Yeah,
5
so still a pretty good return. And then I mean, Saliba in the back line has been a good option.
I know. I thought about that one too. No Gabby for a month or two, right? I know he picked up a knock.
Big Gabby, defender Gabby.
Oh, I thought he did.
I didn't see that.
I could be reading that wrong. I thought I saw that somewhere on an Arsenal report. I'll have to double check where I read that. Because I'm on Premier League injury table and it's not there. So I'll have to double check where I saw that because I'm pretty sure I saw his last name starts with an M. I can't pronounce it, but I did see it somewhere. So I got to double check.
No, I haven't heard anything, but I mean, could be.
Did he play last game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to double check where I saw that. All right. What you got for me?
don't know if you want to just jump right into like your final relegation teams, but let's maybe just dive in at the deep end, because I think I couldn't find who we thought about at the start of the season, but I think we had Fulham as like going up and going back down initially.
I think at the very start, because we had a couple episodes where we talked about it. I think at the very start of the season, that's what we did predict. But like a week or two in, when we kind of saw what Mitrovic was becoming, we said like we're gonna be the so I found the 3 that we spoke on, and there was really 4. And I think it was bias on that week. So first one on my list was Leicester, which totally made sense back when we were week 2, week 3. Next one was the Wolves, because they couldn't score. Next was Southampton, because they were transferring almost their entire team out and just got younger. And then it was bias on this. Bournemouth was on that list too, because they just got smacked. And their coach was fed up. Now, out of those 4 teams, in my head, I still see maybe three of them on my list that I just said getting relegated. I think the Wolves are definitely up there, because right now they sit 19th at the table, 14 points. Southampton right now sitting last with 12. And then Leicester, which they had a good little rally, but then things went very poorly for them the last couple. They're sitting at 17th, 2 points above the 18th spot, and then Bournemouth is at 16 points. So like, I think it's still going to be Wolves and Southampton. Leicester and Bournemouth for me is still a toss-up.
Leicester and Bournemouth. You're not even considering Everton?
No, I'm not.
No? You think they're going to survive?
They find a way. They always do. They've always sucked. At least as far as I've been watching. Like, let's go to 22-21. What place do you think Everton finished last year? Do you remember?
I know they struggled. They maybe ended like 15?
16th.
Okay, yeah.
The year prior, they were 10th. The year prior to that, 12th. And then we'll just go back to 2018, 2019 for fun, because I think they had a good year that year. 8th that year. So I don't know. I think they'll hang on. They'll find a way. Their goal scoring, though, is miserable.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know, like, what their plan is. I mean, Calvert-Lewin came back, but he hasn't scored a goal, I don't think. Or if he has, it's like
to show himself.
Minimal, yeah. And then, defensively, I think they mostly look good now, like a little more structured. But just, I think the onslaught of like defending the whole game, just it takes one little moment now for someone to lose concentration, and then there's that goal that they let in. I don't know. I think like Bournemouth is also kind of just like wishy-washy.
Well, who do you think's better? Because right now, sitting at 15 points is West Ham as well.
Yeah.
The only reason why Everton is in 18th is because they've had one more goal scored against them. If that didn't happen, West Ham's in their position. So, I think...
I think on paper, West Ham has the better squad, so they probably could survive just like a touch better than Everton could.
Ridiculous. I think West Ham's squad, it's almost no different from last year.
Yeah, they brought in that Skamaka and Paquetá and maybe another 1 or 2 players, but like they shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But let's see. Right now, with 17 points, it goes all the way up to the 13th position.
Yeah,
so
it's still really tight.
17. That's
awesome. It's still just like that whole bottom half. Well, almost bottom half is like so tight, but I think Leicester will be okay. I think Leeds will be okay. Forest is kind of a question mark, but I think they'll be okay.
They better be okay after all that money they spent. Could you imagine?
Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Southampton Wolves, I think, are a shoe-in at this point. Like, Southampton just can't get it going. Wolves kind of the same thing.
It's a shame, too. The Wolves were decent last year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if their FA Cup draw against Liverpool's anything to go by, maybe they're getting better, or, you know, Liverpool's just still struggling a little bit. But.
Focus on the table, Chad. Focus on the table.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole 14 positions between the two, so Liverpool's great.
Not good. Not good. Not a good start to the new year. Okay, well, I'm going to flip it on you now. Who is in your top 4 at the end of the season?
I'm going to tell you right now that for the longest time I was taking it game by game.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to dream, you know?
Are you going to say it?
I'm gonna say it. Arsenal's going to be number 1. We're taking
it. Baby. It finally happened.
You know, I didn't want to get ahead of myself at the start of the season because, like, long season, and to be fair, there's still more than half of the season to go. But, you know, performances have generally looked good and about the same level consistently. I mean, there has been the stumble against United, which, I don't know, a VAR call could have maybe swung that game a different way. Yep. A draw against Newcastle's not the worst thing, but again, the reffing was a little bit shoddy.
Are you happy with the draw?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
was that a draw that felt like a win?
No, it's a draw that felt like a loss after seeing some of the calls that weren't called. Like, specifically the pull on Gabriel's shirt for the corner kick. That's like his shirt's being like pulled all the way around him, like he's wearing it backwards almost. And like, I get there's a lot of pulling and shoving on the corner kicks and stuff, so it's like I'm normally pretty lenient with that sort of stuff, but like, this is just blatant, like, yanking him back. Like, if VAR's not gonna see that and call it, then like, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And like the late handball at the end of the game is like, it's one of those where like you've seen it go both ways. And I get it, like, the ball is kicked pretty close to him, and, you know, his arm is out, but, like, then he is kind of turned away, so, like, he is kind of not watching the play and where the ball is, so, like, I guess technically you could call it a handball, but I think it would be pretty harsh. So I'm okay with that, and, like, I don't know, Newcastle's been in good form, Arsenal's been in good form, and this is always going to be a tight battle, so I think a draw is fair, but it seemed like Arsenal did have like the step above Newcastle on the day and just didn't get the calls that they needed to maybe get the penalty kick and you know, win the game.
Fair enough. I would love to go back and forth with you as we each go down our list of our 4 teams here.
You gotta believe. You gotta believe.
I love stories. I love the underdog coming in and showing everyone up. I love the fact that we got to see this team in a documentary last year and see the cards get ripped out.
There's a butt coming here, right?
There's no butt, Chad. I also believe that Arsenal is going to win this season. Like you, I didn't want to give you overconfidence, especially now that there's an Arsenal fan in this household. But even in the worst of days that we had over this break on New Year's, the one bright, shining moment with Kristen was saying, but Arsenal still won today. And I was like, how? Like, how are you still like this? Like, we just had a shitty New Year, and then you're like, but Arsenal won, it's all good. I'm like, that's insane. I'll have to show you that text. So, oh
my gosh.
I'm a believer. I think it will happen. They're just, you know, and there is a lot of things that goes into this. A lot of luck with injuries. You know, it sucks so much that Jesus got hurt in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Really makes you wonder how different this season could have gone for the good or the worse. Who knows? If he's playing right now, they could be a worse team. They might not have that fire under their butt.
Yeah, and I think getting injured at the time he did was maybe the best time to get injured, only because he did have a few weeks where like no Premier League games were happening anyway. So like that's already a few free injured weeks, and then you're coming back into it, and it is kind of that festive period where it's like games every 3 days and stuff. But like that run in wasn't like too difficult for Arsenal.
West Ham and who else you guys play? Brighton.
Yeah, West Ham, Brighton, and then Newcastle. So it's like should have been winnable games, and was pretty much the whole way. So because I mean, if you don't have the World Cup, then okay, he's missing 3 months of like pure Premier League matches. So it's like not ideal, but if this gets taken care of and it sounds like they had known about this little like knee issue all season almost. So if it gets taken care of now, and then he comes back and like back into form towards the end of the season and can really help push Arsenal over the line, like could all work out.
Are you at all worried about City still creeping? Let me rephrase that question. We're always scared of City. What is it going to take for Arsenal to keep up with their form and not have City creep on them?
Well, we still have... I mean, we haven't played City at all this season yet, because our first game was during when the Queen passed away, so like it got delayed until, I think, another 2 weeks or so from now. So that'll kind of be like... I guess really see where Arsenal stand, but like having just watched some City games and stuff, like they're definitely still playing well, but I don't think as like freely or not like as dominant as they have been in past seasons.
Well, the pressure's on them now.
I guess that could be it. It's
they don't have this huge lead over everyone.
Yeah, you're not necessarily cruising. Like, I mean, even Newcastle's and United, I guess, is only 4 points behind City right now. So like, it's still tight up there. But I mean, you always got to worry about City. Like, I think definitely one thing in their favor is just their squad depth is much better than Arsenal's. Like,
it's insane.
Once you get out of Arsenal's starting 11, like, there's a few spots where you can kind of have that like-for-like switch, but for the most part, no. I mean, if we lose Thomas Partey through injury, like, that's maybe the season right there. Like, we just have no real replacement for him. Which they could do something in January, but I don't know. I've not seen any links to any midfielders yet, so yeah, I mean, got the lead on them now. Just keep playing how we've been playing, and it was never going to be an invincible season, so the draws and losses will come and all that, and I don't know. I just there seems to be like such a fight and like hunger amongst Arsenal players that like if it doesn't happen this season, it's definitely happening next season, because they've like had the heartbreak of missing top four last season, and the heartbreak of like leading for so much of this season and then missing out, and then like next season is just be like, what, we're doing it, throw everything else out the window. It's like gunning for number one the whole time, and I don't know. I'm feeling good, You
feel good. I can tell. Man. Well, I had a great conversation with Kristen's cousin's husband, and he's a huge Arsenal fan, and he's going to get on this pod, I think, in about a month. We were kind of talking, and I thought it would be a good idea to bring him on after Arsenal plays City. And he was just telling me, this next 5-game stretch that Arsenal has is going to be this will decide whether or not they win the league. Tottenham next week, and then Manchester United, Everton, Brentford, City. And that's...
Yeah, but see, like, I agree, but at the same time, people have been saying that for every stretch of games this season. Is like, oh,
City's the key one though.
City's the key one, yeah, for sure. But like, it seems like every couple of weeks, it's like, oh well, this stretch of games will tell us if Arsenal can really compete, and then this stretch of games.
No, I'm not saying to compete. I'm saying to win the league. I think they could. Yeah. I think they could draw all 4 of those and beat if everyone else is kind of doing their thing with draws and whatnot, but beat City. That's such a statement of just moving forward. Where going into the second leg against City, like they now have the mental capacity to do it again. So. Yeah. I don't want to say these 5 games are the most important 5-game stretch they've had, but I do think if they win all 5 of these games, they will win the league. That's the thing I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, they could.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think City's run during this time is also a little bit hairy for them. I think they play Tottenham, which is always their like bogey team. I think they
got Tottenham twice.
Oh, they have Tottenham twice.
Or maybe it was in the
one's got to be a cup game. Yeah.
Nope, all EPL. So they go.
Oh, really?
They go Manchester United next Saturday, and then Tottenham the following. It looks like the Thursday, and then they got the Wolves on the weekend. Then they play Tottenham again. That day they have a couple. Looks like I have 2 weeks off. Okay. January 22nd. Then the next game is February 5th. So yeah, we got a little break there. So Tottenham 2 out of 3 games. That'll be fun. Those are fun games to watch.
So I think it's. I guess both teams are kind of at this important stretch of their season where. For Arsenal, there's definitely like the Everton and Brentford and stuff. Like those are games you should win.
Brentford's been tough though, man.
Fingers crossed so far. But Arsenal have been winning the games they should win. So yeah. Well, I think, are we in agreement then that City will be second in our predictions here?
No.
Okay. Well,
are you saying City?
I'm saying City for second.
Okay.
What are you going with?
I'm saying Newcastle.
You think so?
Yeah. I think Newcastle has this momentum. We've barely seen Isaac play, and I think he's going to be a huge bonus for them. Their defense is clicking. Pope is amazing. Bruno is, I think, eager to show that he was not played in the World Cup, and he doesn't know why. I would argue he's better than Paqueta, and I want to see more Bruno. Like there's I think he's a main reason why they're in at least the top 4. And I don't know. I don't know why he wasn't played as much in the cup. Like we're probably on the same wavelength there. Like I thought we would see more of him, and we got definitely. In 1 or 2 games.
I think he kind of just played the like group games that didn't matter for them, and then made some like sub appearances. But Newcastle's like I said, they've been in great form. They are winning the games they need to win. You have some injured players coming back. Like even Saint Maximin has not fully come back in yet, and he's always a threat on that wing, and it's a good shout for second. But
I would argue Newcastle should be undefeated this season. They've lost 1 game.
Yeah, who'd they lose to?
He's coming back to you now?
Yeah, now I remember.
That was a game they probably should not have lost.
Yeah, well,
it happens. It happens. Yeah. I get it. But that's a big part of my reason. Their defense is just locked down. Mm-hmm. And then against City, that was a crazy game. That was 3-3. Correct?
3-3. I'm pretty sure.
And I think next time they go and play City, it's going to be much different because they took the lead and they kind of let City do their thing, and that's how City kept punching back. And I think Newcastle went up like it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. They took the initiative to go out and score and own that game, but then as soon as they score, they're like, okay, we're going to do what we always do and defend the hell out of the ball. But City I think thrives on that when they said,
Yeah.
we got to hold the ball down, just like,
Oh yeah, you can't let them act like that.
I don't think they'll do that again. At least
Yeah.
I would hope if Newcastle wants to stay relevant. So yeah, I do think they will jump in front of City here because let me check their points. Newcastle is sitting at 35 points. City is they have a game in hand, but again with those Tottenham fixtures, I think things could get a little dicey. And then with Newcastle, their next 5 games go as Leicester, probably should win. Fulham, I probably should win.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace should probably win. West Ham should probably win. Bournemouth should probably win. I think that out of the 3 teams we've talked about, City, Arsenal, and now Newcastle, that is by far the easiest 5 games out of those 3 teams.
I think so. Yeah.
So that's just my prediction. I do think these next 5 games are the most important for Arsenal. So why not say that these next 5 games could be the most important for Newcastle too?
Sure. Yeah.
Win all 5. We'll see what happens. And I'm not saying Arsenal will win all 5 either. So like there could be some drama, but I am a believer, so I will say Arsenal will be 1, Newcastle 2, and for number 3, I'll just start it. I believe it will be City. A crazy 3rd place finish for them. I mean, this will be their first 3rd place finish in the last.
I don't even know.
Go back. Should we check? It's got to be at least 9 years, if I had to guess. If you had to guess, when's the last time they were not top 2?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want to say like the first number that came to me was 8, so I think we can go 8 years.
8 years. Okay, I'm at 2018, 2019, first place. 2017, 2018, first place. 2016, 2017, that was the year. 2016, 17, so that was only 6 years ago. It went Chelsea, Tottenham, City.
Okay.
I wonder why. I wonder what happened that year to them.
I don't know. I forget if they... I mean, I feel like they've had the same squad almost for like all this time, and just will add a key player here or there, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. I thought it was longer, but Chelsea had a damn good year that year. I think that was the Conte year, the second of the 2. So yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, let's see. Who's your 3rd?
3rd, I'm going Man U.
Wow, keeping them in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean they certainly started the season very rocky, but have been kind of coming into form and like kind of look like they know what they're doing now.
So just stop you there. You believe that the Ronaldo exit is going to benefit them?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't think him leaving
meant anything.
Like, I don't think he would have played had he stayed. You know, except for maybe some sub appearances and stuff. Like,
I'm going off a pure locker room. I think that place will be a much easier place for everyone to get along. It's this weird pressure man with those superstars who just have crazy egos. I've just never been a fan of having a huge superstar in any team for any sport when the rest of the team is very young.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably fair. I mean, you know, Ronaldo kind of at the end of his career and, you know, coming back to United, so kind of has the, you know, coming home story and still has this drive and desire to win, but like he himself can't really facilitate that anymore. Like, he's not so much of the game changer that he used to be, but so I think it probably does get a little toxic of him trying to like put that pressure and drive and like will to do anything to win onto everyone else, but then like everyone sees him just like not being able to do that himself, so it's probably a weird tension there. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess
I don't think he ever came to terms that he was no longer the guy. Yeah,
I think that's kind of where his struggles started. Just like you were up here and now you like dropped quite a few pegs, and
he's tried to be the same player throughout his entire career, which I'm going to love the comparison, but we're going to go to Messi really quick. Messi's role has changed. I'm going to just guesstimate every 3 to 4 years that guy is playing a different position and a different idea of how the team needs him to play. Same goes for, let's say, I'm trying to think of a player, an old player who kind of had to change his style. I guess Messi's just so freaking good. It's like how you compare anyone to him. But we can go with like say I'll keep it on a lower level, like a B level. But Thomas Mueller, he's had to change his role multiple times for Bayern and for the national team. So like, I don't think Ronaldo will ever have that mindset where he's like, this team doesn't need me to be like this crazy superstar. I could be the 80th minute sub and like do something different and just accept his role. He never accepted this like new role that he had to fall into. And that's why he's now going to be the man in Saudi Arabia, which will we ever hear from him again? I guess we'll probably see highlights and stuff on Reddit, but like, will we
probably
ever actually see a game, like a full game? I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, you're going to see the highlight and then, maybe he bangs in a good goal, but then the level of play and defending that he's going against now is going to be such a lower level than Premier League, than when he was in Italy, than even if he probably went back to Portugal. Like, I'm sure the level's just below. Like it. So anything you do is just like, yeah, cool, but not as impressive as it could be.
What if he just sucks?
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's it. He saw this final paycheck. He's like, yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. Like, I don't know. But getting back to Man United in third place at the end of the season, the only real reason I'm kind of leaning that way is just looking at their wins and draws against Newcastle. So United has 11 wins and 2 draws, where Newcastle's got 9 wins and 8 draws.
A lot of draws.
I think those draws are going to hurt Newcastle unless they can get Isaac fit and scoring, St. Maximin in there.
I think that'll be the factor is just goals scored.
Yeah, because like they are scoring goals, but just not enough to get the wins currently, which draws are helpful, but like at the end of the day, 11 wins versus 9 wins right now is helping United so much more. Like like United has 4 losses and is still level points with Newcastle right now. Like, so I think United will hang on to third, and then that 4th place spot is a little bit up in the air for me, honestly.
So you don't have Newcastle as that 4th spot?
They're one of the options.
One of the options, Chad. It's top 4. There can't be more than one option for number 4.
Well, correct, but multiple teams, I think, could have a opportunity here of landing that number 4 spot.
Is it anyone not named Liverpool, Newcastle, or Tottenham?
No, it's of those 3. I think if I had to put my name on one, it would be Newcastle, just because they have been good this season. Tottenham, I feel like, is gonna just kind of hover that 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe. Like, just the way they play, where they come out first half and it just yeah, terrible. Like they don't look like they want to play. They don't look like they know what they're doing.
I'm a believer this is Tottenham's last year with this squad. Everyone from Son to Højbjerg to Deer to Kane, gonna be a totally different squad next year.
I mean, I don't get it if it's like, I don't think it's Conte saying, go out there the first half and do whatever you want, and then we'll fix it in the second half.
This is year 2 of him, right? Is this year 2?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like 2 year and a half.
Year and a half? Okay.
But, he had all summer to get the players he wanted, which he basically did. And he's had a full preseason with them. These players should be playing to the tactics that he wants and the standards he wants and stuff. And you're still just having this, credit to them for always somehow getting a win out of these games, but like they can't keep getting away with this.
They can't. They almost lost to Bournemouth like a couple weeks ago. They got bailed out. They get bailed out way too much.
Yeah. So
I think Kane is going to do just enough to show other teams that he is a very good player, a very good striker. I think Man United will come after him in the summer transfer window. If you're looking at the table, Man United's goal differential right now is 7, which is pretty terrible considering that's as good as Brighton, who are in 8th. So I believe Man United could have had a couple games go the other way. But I think Kane in a new squad, especially with Man United right now, I think that would be the ideal fit for him. And then I think they'll just be relevant enough to show teams that they can make money off the players that they currently have. And then I don't want to say they won't be a top 6 team next year, but I don't know how you rebuild after that. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after Lautaro Martinez from Inter because they've been looking at him for a long time. He would be a nice, like maybe fresh start for them and then kind of build around that. I think this is it. I don't think Tottenham's going to make top 4. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make top 6.
See, that's the thing. Like, just they do keep grinding out the win, which fair play to them, but just their overall performance has just not been good enough. So, like, I mean, you're only 5 points clear of 6th right now, and that's Liverpool has a game in hand on them, which Liverpool's like kind of coming into some better performances at least. Like, but, I mean, you got Gakpo now. Like, if he can get up and running a little bit, like
Nunez looks a lot better.
Yeah, he's
looking a lot better.
He's getting shots off, which is nice. Like, ideally score a few of those, but I think I saw a stat that in the first 9 games or 10 games or something. Or no, maybe it was first 15, 16 games or whatever. Like, Suarez, I think, had 9 goals. I forget. Someone else had like 9 goals, and then Nunez is on 10 goals. So it's like he's right in line with what you would expect. I think he was just, when the transfers were happening, like he was kind of, his name was thrown around with Haaland. So I think like he's getting compared to that a little bit, and it's like no one's at that level right now, which.
So unfair. How you can compare him to that guy and be like,
exactly. So
they didn't do good enough. It's like, well, come on, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think between Liverpool and Tottenham, I think Liverpool definitely has. They still have a hard road ahead, I think, but like, I think they can probably grind out a 4th place finish there. It'll just come down to what Newcastle can do if they can win some games instead of keep drawing, but.
Well, Liverpool was my number 4 because I have Newcastle in 2nd, so jot that down. I think Liverpool will find a way to make it. We don't have Virgil for a little bit. He picked up an injury.
Yeah,
so that'll be interesting, but Konate is great. He played great for the French squad. I think that'll be good momentum for them. Trent is starting to play pretty good too. He's kind of coming alive. The one goal that I think it was in the Brentford game, one of the goals they got, Trent was the only one defending, which is mind-blowing because like that hasn't happened all season. So maybe with Virgil going out, it's a slight blessing because now the man back there might, not like the central man, but the guy who might be in charge of that back line a little bit more and have a little bit more to say is Trent. And I don't know, I think that could be huge. I think him not playing in the World Cup a ton maybe lit a fire under his butt. I know it wouldn't mind if that was me and I was seeing guys like Trippier starting over me, when to be fair, like Trippier has been with Atletico Madrid for the last couple of years, and like he's having a good season with Newcastle, but Trent just won the league. He just won the Champions League. He's been in the Champions League 3 of the last 5 years. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I didn't even like play. Did he play at all? I'm gonna say no.
I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, if he did, he didn't do anything to like have his name brought up. But yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right that because prior to going into the World Cup, he was kind of just like
lackluster.
In the league, but like for England, like he was just kind of first name on the team sheet. Like he's starting. Like he was always good, and like defensively, he's maybe never been the best, but his help on offense was enough to kind of cover that. And but then start of the season obviously was not great for him, but that. We saw that with a lot of players, where I think it's just a lot of them making sure they got to the World Cup injury-free, but I don't know. I mean, he's definitely looked better in this past couple games and finally got an assist, so that's nice.
That could be a huge factor, though, him not going all out in the season. Because, I mean, really, this has been his worst season, stats-wise, I believe, since he started playing in the first team. I just found this stat, though. 36 minutes played in the World Cup for him. And prior to the World Cup in the last calendar year, the most chances created from open play of England players was Saka with 65, Harry Kane with 62, and then Trent with 59.
Dang, see? He's up there. He's a threat, just...
So what was Southgate doing? What was he like? Why? Man,
that guy just... He loves defenders. He wants to defend. He doesn't know how to use his players.
So what's funny for me with this new job, right? I've been very much in contact with the basketball coach. And I got to text him like all the time, like, "Hey, what'd you say during halftime? Like, what was said to your players to kind of like light a spark?" And it's interesting to hear different coaches' words of wisdom and the way they talk to players. And boy, what I would do to be a fly on the wall in some of these rooms with coaches who like players. I want to say obviously don't respect, but like players who aren't getting played by them. It's like, are they like, I fucking hate you?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know like how they feel. So yeah, that one's interesting. But yeah, so I'm going Arsenal, Newcastle, City, and Liverpool at that fourth spot. I hope and will maybe pray a little that Liverpool gets it. I'm a little nervous, but I think they can beat out Man United. They play them late in the season. And then Tottenham, we'll just see what happens. So, give me your fourth. Say it out loud.
Loud and proud. I'll give it to Newcastle. I think that's the one I'm most confident in. But it's just the amount of draws they have right now is what's like scaring me a little bit on it.
Okay. All right, that's not a bad top four for each of us. Just a little different. You have Man United, I don't.
Yeah.
So So that's my second half prediction questions. Mine was also who got relegated, so we're kind of on the same page there. I guess since we talked about Arsenal, let's just talk a little bit about Liverpool. Do you think Nunez will outplay Salah for the second half of the season?
Outplay as in what?
He'll be
kind of become like the guy.
Yeah, the guy. It's too soon to say.
I don't know if. I think stats wise he might, only because Salah's a known threat, right? Like he has kind of the Saka effect where like the ball goes to him and it's like 2, sometimes 3 defenders on him, which sucks for him, but then at the same time for Darwin Nunez is like leaves him a little bit more open. So I think if Liverpool can kind of figure how to get that kind of pressure onto Salah and free up Nunez better, or whoever on the other side, and like get the ball out quickly, then I think it'll work out pretty good for them. But I think Salah's probably still your guy. Just he might need to play kind of the Messi role now as he's getting a little bit older and be a little bit more the creator rather than the goal scorer.
So would I be crazy to put Nunez in over Salah?
Crazy? I don't think crazy, but like with the amount of shots he's been taking, you would at least want more of those to be on target.
I've seen the memes. I know.
Yeah.
There's been some good memes.
I mean, like at the end of the day, I think clearly he's getting into positions where he's able to shoot and wants to shoot. So I think that's good. And then getting on target and getting goals will ideally come eventually.
Hopefully.
But I mean, he just had that goal. I think against Wolves.
Yep,
that was pretty nice. A little kind of first time kick, and he's got it in him.
He looks so much more comfortable than at the start of the season. So that's
oh my gosh,
kind of just where my mind is going. I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah,
I don't want to say the season rides or dies with him, but if he can he's shooting a lot. You're right. He is shooting a lot, and they're just kind of terrible shots, but good ideas. You know what I mean? Like, he has the right mentality. They're just not going the way they should go. And if he could put 50% on a keeper and have a ricochet come around, that's huge. So just make the keeper work, man. I hate when players take shots and they're just so terrible, and the keeper's just standing that was terrible. You can see the keeper was like, "What are you doing?" Make the keeper work. Get him tired. Get him on the ground. Make him make a crazy save, and even if it's not a crazy save, just blast it at him. Make the keeper work. So yeah, I'm excited to get the second half going. I'm excited to get our podcast back up and rolling. We were on a hot streak there for 16 weeks, and then World Cup said.
You had World Cup, and then it got into holiday period, and not only is it a lot of games being played during that time, but just a lot of life stuff happening at the same time.
So much movement.
Yeah, hard to find a time and not only to watch the games, but to then talk about it. So I think now we'll be back on track and finish out the season strong.
Can't wait. Anything else you got to say?
No.
He's dying. Chad's dying here. We hit our hour mark. We're going to probably take off there. And for all of you listening, make sure you get your rosters in and updated. Chad and I will have ours in. Are you going to do yours in the next week? It's going to happen?
Yeah, I think definitely by the time that next Premier League round starts, I'll probably have it done, because I need to start catching up, and especially if the people at the top are not going to make any changes till late.
Now's the time.
Got to capitalize on that. So
23 days until they do. So
yeah,
time to make a move. Well, let me know when you make that move.
Will do.
With that, everyone have a great week, and we will see you next Sunday. Hooligans out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.